of the basic movements of the functional progression. There are other additional ones, such as a 3-month prone breathing and some other like transitional things that we could do that I'm not going to talk about right now. But there are some other movements that I find very helpful that I tend to add when I put the functional progression together to create a movement flow, which I wanted to go over now as well. So this one is called a fire hydrant. The idea is you're kind of mimicking like a male dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Okay, this is a good one. It's a little bit of a more of a challenging one for the hips and that core stability. So similar to bird dog, you're in your hand on your hands and knees, neutral spine, and instead of moving a hand and a leg, we're only going to move the leg. And again, our goal is to not let everything else shift around. So from here, we're just going to move one leg up and back down. And you're going to alternate doing the other side and coming down. So you are really working to stabilize your core during the middle of this. And it's really mobilizing and working this, the hip that you're moving as well. You may notice that one side you have more mobility than the other. My right side is definitely easier for me than my left. Again, this should never be painful. You should never pee your pants while doing anything like this. So if you find a movement that is just like, nope, too challenging, don't do it. Go back, slow down. It's a progression. We call it a progression for a reason. You're going to progress from one to the other, progressing in difficulty. So maybe you just start with the breathing and like with your legs in the air for part 1, and then eventually you add some movement, and then eventually you can add some, go to part 2 and part 3 and so on, but it builds upon itself. It should be very gradual, and this is a more challenging movement, the fire hydrant. So if you're not ready for that today, that's totally fine.